Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So my newborn, no longer a newborn, I think now he's just like an infant. He's currently 4 months, turned 4 months today, and I feel like I need to talk about, now that he's officially no longer a newborn, like must have things that really helped me with him, and yeah, maybe you guys will find it useful. So number one is Aquaphor. Okay, like that thing, I slaughter it in his diaper, like because I had really terrible diaper rash experience with my daughter at some point, and like it's not always by leaving their diaper in for too long. Sometimes you might not know the baby pooped and the baby was sitting in the pool, and you think you go for the next diaper change, you see that, oh, this poop is dry, that means this baby pooped since, and the baby will sit in it, and before you know they have a rash. Or sometimes overnight, maybe you're too sleepy, you forget to change your diaper, they have a rash. So to avoid it, I have my steady trusted Aquaphor, aka Vaseline. Let me find it. This is it. Aquaphor is just basically like a Vaseline. This is like maybe my fifth one. I even have the big tub because I have two babies back to back, so now I still use this in her diaper at times, but not as much as Mwaboeze. And then baby powder. Okay, they say you should not use baby powder on newborns, so don't take my word for it, but like in my experience, if you have a chunky baby, sometimes you need baby powder. This is the particular one that I use. This one is not commonly found in Nigeria. I bought it when I was in the US, and so, but you can use any baby powder you like. Just try to keep it like not scented. This one is medicated also, so I put it like in his folds, because one time he had rashes between his folds, like because he was sweating so much, and his neck. So since then I've been using baby powder, and the rashes have not reoccurred at all. It's really necessary. Like, avoid putting it on the baby's face though, because the baby can inhale it and it will go, like particles of it will go to their lungs, but ultimately this is a lifesaver for me. Another one that I know is so controversial, but for me, it's not controversial at all. It's not controversial at all. Is Pacifier. So with my daughter, she was a passive baby. She used to suck Pacifier like her life depended on it. Like, even when I had to wean her off her Pacifier 1 year old, it was a struggle, but I just took it off cold turkey and she survived. Like, the Pacifier saved her from sucking her thumb. And recently, when I had Mwaboeze, I gave him Pacifier as well, but he just really wasn't as into it. Like, he will suck it sometimes, but not really. People frown against Pacifier because they say it carries germs. Yes, you did hear that. I know. Like, one pediatrician here in Nigeria, like, even really shouted at me, the mother of my child, about giving my baby a Pacifier, because she was like, oh, this is dangerous. Like, why would you give this? It's just a breeding ground for germs, blah blah blah. I was like, okay, ma. Wow, immediately I left the office. I still put a Pacifier in my baby's mouth, because like, you don't know how stressful it is if your baby is just crying, and sometimes you just need something to soothe them. Pacifier to the rescue, my dear. Like, a lot of times, you know how a baby will be fussy and they're just crying, and you don't know what to do. Give them that Pacifier. It will calm them down. It's called a soother. It's called a Pacifier for a reason. Like, it literally calms the baby down. But for me, how I try to keep it clean is to sterilize it every single time. I put a strap at times, and then so once it hits any kind of surface, I go and sterilize it. So I have multiple, like, because you don't want a baby to become dependent on Pacifier and then you have no extras. Like, it's a nightmare. So, and then recently, because my son doesn't really like sucking it as much, he started sucking his index finger, and I gave him back the Pacifier, and it has really helped, because like when I see he's trying to suck it, I just gave him his Pacifier instead. So it's helping to wean him off actually sucking his finger. Like, I very much he suck a Pacifier than his finger, because I can wean off the Pacifier when I like, as opposed to sucking, which is so much more harder to get them to stop. So me, I'm pro Pacifier. You don't have to believe in it, but for me it works, it helps me. And yeah, I know it's like bad advice. Some people saying that I'm giving you bad advice, but for me it has really helped. Okay, so it's a newborn must have. Another thing is like a swaddler. I don't have one now because I gave it out. I feel like one person outgrew it, but like the first 2 weeks of his life, or more, the only way I could have peaceful sleep at night was to swaddle him. Okay, and yeah, it has really helped, because once they come out, it helps them feel warm and cozy and all snuggled up like they're in the womb, and it just helps them sleep so much better. Because trust me, that first week of their life, at night, it's going to be rough. Like, you're going to almost want to cry and pull your hair out, but swaddling and Pacifier combined together is a lifesaver. Another thing is I know this one is not even accessible in Nigeria, but if you can, like, it helped me a lot was those disposable ready to feed milks. Okay, I don't have it here right now because we've run out. Like I said it's 4 months old, but if you live here you can buy it. Yeah, you can afford it to go and buy those ready to feed milks, because trust me, at night when your baby is crying, and the milk is already there, you just have to put a disposable nipple on the bottle that's already ready to eat, like the type they give them in the hospital. I'll try and find a picture of it, but this is what it looks like. And yeah, it's a lifesaver. I'm not even going to lie to you, because especially if you're supplementing. So if you're breastfeeding, it's very easy, just pull out your breast and shove it in the baby's mouth. But like if you're supplementing and you know you don't have enough milk, just pull out the ready to eat formula and give them a hair. At least for the first 2 weeks of their life, it really helps, and then eventually you can just start making it. Another thing, that this one is for the, if you really have the funds to, because this one is expensive, but it's a baby brezza. I didn't buy it personally, but I made my sister, who had twins, buy it because I thought it would make her life so much easier, and she bought it and she swears by it. It's a baby brezza. It's basically a formula dispenser for your baby. So you set it up, you just put the baby's bottle, you put in hot water and milk, the quantity the baby will take, and it's perfectly made every time, and then you just have to push a button. For us that in Nigeria, unless you have an inverter, it might not be practical, or you live in a serviced apartment where there's serviced house where there's electricity 24/7. It might not be practical, because like when you need to make milk, it's like there's no light. Okay, you might just do the manual way. But for those that can afford it and have 24/7 electricity, because it's quite pricey, I think it's like $500 or so. I'm not sure how much it is, but you should buy it. Another thing is a really good diaper. Okay, so I know back in the days they used to do napkins and all that, but for me, I have a diaper for nighttime and I have a different brand of diaper for daytime, because nighttime I try to use the really absorbent ones, so that I just keep diaper changes to a minimum. I'll just do it once a night, so when the baby wakes up to feed, and I just do it. Okay, and so it really helps, because you don't want your baby to have rashes. So that one is kind of I guess straightforward. For me, another thing is, like, you know, like those things the baby that helps the baby sit up in the bath, or like something that helps the baby sit up. You obviously know a newborn baby cannot sit up, and the local Nigerian African way to give a baby, a newborn, a bath is to use your legs in the bath, in the baby's bath thing. But like for me, I just couldn't figure it out. Like I see my mother-in-law, my mom doing it, but for me it was super stressful. I just couldn't figure it out. So what I did was bought this chair that just folds up, that the baby can sit on in his bath, and it has helped a lot, because then you're not worried about dropping the baby. The baby is just comfortable, relaxing, because otherwise I would have to just be holding baby on my hand, and it's super slippery, like accidents can happen. So for me, that one is non-negotiable. Like you have to absolutely have to buy it to make your life 10 times easier. But if you prefer the local way, fine, do you. But for me, it's completely necessary. Okay, so another thing are these disposable changing mats. I have no idea where you can buy it. I bought mine on Amazon, and at least it's the small version. But you see, newborns have a lot of poopy explosions, because their poop is not like solid, it's just like a gusty, yellow, pasty, and sometimes it gets everywhere. Okay, so this thing is very handy when you want to change your diaper anywhere, like, and you don't want to put your baby on a dirty surface, or you don't want to just make like everywhere messy. Their changing table, the chair where you're changing them, the bed, just put this underneath them, then you can easily change poopy diapers without making a mess. And like one time I put it under my boy's head, because I just wanted him to, I wanted him to go diaper free. I didn't want any diaper, so I just put it on his baby rocker, and yeah, that really helped him, because he just peed, pooped, whatever, and as you can see, the back is like nylon, so it's waterproof, kind of water doesn't get through unless it's really soaked. Okay, so yeah. Another thing is a rocker, a bouncer. For me, you know, it's so hard. Newborn babies don't sit up. Okay, so I have a bouncer. I'm sure you guys have seen it several times on this channel, but like, yeah, it's right here. I'll try and look up a picture and show you. And I also have a baby swing. I got the Fisher Price one. I think in Nigeria that one goes for like 150k, but like you can find, it's cheaper than the 4moms one. And for me, my brother used the Fisher Price one, my nephew used it, my brother's twins used it, Naya used it, yes, and my brother is using it now. It's okay. You can find it like 130k, 140. Like, it's not cheap, but it's a huge investment, because you can use it up until like 7 months. 8 months. And like when you are cooking, sometimes you just put the baby in the swing, you just be swinging the baby and the baby will fall asleep. It's just a good investment in my opinion. Okay, so bouncer and swing, you can use one or the other, but if you can afford both, buy both, because one is upstairs, the bouncer is upstairs, the swing is downstairs, and they are both serving us really fine. So another newborn must have is baby bed. Okay, like for me, the baby bed that we have, I'm going to show you, but yeah, this, I think this is a better angle. This is the one that we have, and it's right here because it's movable, like it has wheels. I can move it everywhere. So if I want the baby to have a good sleep, I just put him down in this, and as you can see, it's not so tiny. Now I use this same one, and she grew out of it by like 9-10 months, because then she started climbing. Okay, so it's a big one, so the baby can grow in it. It's not like a typical bassinet that is really tiny. This one, as you can see, has more space. The baby can use it for a while. Like the only, I know a lot of people say the baby just sleeps with me on the same bed. Like for me, I'm a rough sleeper, so when we tried it, like when I tried it at first, I just knew it was just dangerous for my baby. And like the pediatrician at the hospital even warned me not to. It's not advisable. Like I won't advise you to, but if that is what rocks your boat, fine. You can also get a bigger crib, but I feel like this is just smaller and it's much more comfortable. It doesn't feel like empty. But the advantage of the bigger crib is that the baby can go with it. Okay, but then I moved straight from this to a floor bed, so it worked out fine for us, and it's the same thing we're using for one person. So he sleeps with my husband and I in the same room. Once he goes down for his sleep, we just put him in there and we have our bed to ourselves, which is fun, because if you sleep with your baby on the same bed, like there's literally no intimacy between you and your husband. The baby's always going to be in the middle. But yeah, you can tell me what works for you, but this is basically what works for me. So you guys, I feel I have talked about everything I can remember, but if there's anything I'm missing, please share your own experience, something you say really helped you, in the comment section, because I'm curious. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to do a postpartum must-haves as well, because for me the experience is just very, it's something I have to share. I feel like as a two-time mom, I have experience now, so I'll definitely share. But yeah, let me know your own must-haves for a newborn in the comment section. And I know, of course, not everybody can relate to everything I've said, but this is just my own experience. Okay, feel free to share your own experience, as I said, or what you think worked for your baby. Yeah, but that's pretty much it, you guys. Thank you for watching, thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.